The Roman Empire, a name that echoes through history, conjuring images of legions, emperors, and gladiators. Beyond the heart of this ancient superpower lay its frontiers, stretching from Britain to the Middle East. These were dynamic zones where two worlds collided, the Roman world and the barbarians. Imagine vast forests, rolling hills, and mighty rivers marking the edges of Roman control. These frontiers were places of constant interaction, sometimes peaceful, sometimes hostile. Life was a balancing act, navigating two different cultures and ways of life. These frontiers shifted with the tides of war and peace, and the ambitions of emperors and chiefs. To understand Rome, we must delve into these borderlands where its story with the wider world unfolded.
On the Roman side of the frontier, life revolved around the legions. Roman soldiers stationed in forts and watchtowers stood guard against potential threats.
The Roman presence wasn't just military. Towns and settlements sprang up, attracting merchants, artisans, and settlers.
On the other side lived the Barbarians, a diverse group with their own cultures and ways of life. Some were farmers, others skilled warriors and hunters.
The arrival of the Romans brought opportunities for trade and interaction, but also potential for conflict.
The Roman Empire was a master of administration, and its frontiers were no exception. The Romans employed a sophisticated system to manage these vast borderlands, relying on a combination of military might, diplomacy, and pragmatism.
The backbone of Roman control was its legions. Stationed in strategically located forts and fortified camps, Roman soldiers kept watch over the frontier, ready to respond to incursions or uprisings. These forts were not merely military installations, but also centers of Roman power, projecting Roman authority into the surrounding territories.
But Roman control went beyond brute force. The Romans were adept at diplomacy, negotiating treaties and alliances with barbarian tribes. They understood that a stable frontier required cooperation, and they were willing to offer incentives, such as trading rights or military support, to maintain peace. Moreover, the Romans were pragmatic rulers, recognizing that complete assimilation of conquered peoples was not always feasible or desirable. They often allowed local tribes to retain a degree of autonomy, governing their own affairs as long as they posed no threat to Roman interests.
Section 4. Beyond the swords and spears, interactions on the edge. The Roman frontier was not a scene of constant warfare. Life on the edge was punctuated by periods of intense conflict, but it was also characterized by peaceful coexistence and even cooperation between Romans and barbarians. Trade was a powerful force for interaction. Roman merchants were eager to acquire goods from beyond the empire, such as furs, amber, and slaves.
Barbarian tribes, in turn, sought Roman manufactured goods, from pottery and tools to weapons and luxury items. This trade brought wealth to frontier communities and fostered cultural exchange.
Intermarriage between Romans and people from barbarian tribes was not uncommon, particularly in frontier zones. These unions blurred cultural lines and created personal connections that transcended political boundaries. Moreover, the Roman army served as a melting pot, with soldiers from across the empire and beyond serving side by side. This fostered a sense of shared identity and facilitated the spread of Roman culture and ideas. Section 5. The mixing pot: cultural exchange and transformation. The Roman frontier was a dynamic zone of cultural exchange, where Roman traditions and ideas met and mingled with those of the wider world. This exchange was a two-way street, with both sides influencing and transforming each other. The Romans, despite their sense of superiority, were not immune to the allure of barbarian cultures. They adopted barbarian hairstyles and clothing, incorporated barbarian deities into their pantheon, and even recruited barbarian warriors into their armies, valuing their fighting prowess. Barbarian tribes, in turn, were exposed to Roman culture and technology. Roman building techniques, agricultural practices, and artistic styles spread beyond the frontier, influencing the development of barbarian societies. The adoption of Roman customs and institutions, such as literacy and Roman law, had a profound impact on the organization and identity of some barbarian groups. Section 6. The legacy of the Roman frontier. The Roman frontiers were more than just military zones. They were crucibles of cultural exchange, innovation, and conflict. They offer a glimpse into the complexities of empire building and managing diverse populations. The legacy of the Roman frontier is seen in the ruins scattered across Europe and the Middle East. Its impact goes far beyond bricks and mortar. The Roman frontier reminds us that empires are constantly evolving and interacting with the wider world.